internet. So it started moving towards a new dimension, which is called the cognitive structure of consumer, which is moving towards the psychological aspects of the consumer behavior, to understand the predispositions of consumers. Predispositions means what exactly there with the consumer to behave in a particular way. It all depends on the perceptions, the values, the learning, and things like that, and so on. So it's a more of a psychological approach the consumer behavior took over a period of time. And then it started moving towards the information processing aspect. Information processing aspects, actually, it moved to brain studies in the laboratories, and more related to the brain mapping and things like that. So it's not just to understand only the disposition, but also how do a consumer really process a stimuli. For example, today we live in a very crowded world of information, but what information really goes inside, and how do we understand those information, what meaning we make it, what sort of information we really attend, and what is retained. So it's called selective attention and selective retention. So marketing has a lot to do with the information processing concept. So it moved from cognitive structure of consumer behavior to information processing. Then it moved towards an end-to-end understanding. So people understand this not just only with just a marketing framework or psychological framework, has to have understanding coming from sociology, psychology, anthropology, and various other disciplines of mathematical modeling, fuzzy logic, and a lot of other areas started emerging, started getting interfaced with the concept of market. So there we really started understanding the behavioral science in terms of information influence, search, consumption, and disposal model. So that was the time in which the behavioral science were going. Then it started moving to the transformative research. Transformative research is nothing but it is focusing on low-income customers, particularly bottom of the pyramid, unorganized sectors, societal problems, etc. If you see the one that even when I've seen the Nobel Prize committee over a period of time, and the Nobel Prize in economics have moved out of the behavioral science. A few years ago, most of the Nobel Prize winners were from the field of the behavioral science. The last couple of years, it is more towards the transformative consumer research. For example, the last Nobel Prize won by Abhijit Banerjee and his wife Esther, the whole study was based on the transformative consumer research. So today we are more of societal aspect, understanding more of social needs, focusing on the unorganized sectors and the societal problems and things like that. Before I move forward, I wanted to make a very important point for you to understand. There are two types of customers normally we have in this world. One set of customers are called rational customers. They are customers, they are very careful about knowing what is right and wrong. But there are other sets of customers, they are called irrational customers. Their behavior is spiraling around emotions, and they are called psychological customers. So unfortunately, over a period of time, what we have seen is the whole market, the mainstream, is actually dominated by the irrational customers, emotional customers. So marketing, consumer behavior has to move towards this understanding of grappling the emotions of consumers, how the emotional aspects and things like that. So during this COVID-19 pandemic time, these are very important understanding for researchers to really to take a frontier on the research side, or creating a practice all over and elsewhere. So that's very important for us to understand. That's what I'm trying to put these concepts into context. And moving forward, you can see customer experiences have become very important. I have published a paper very recently in one of the Web of Science journal based on conspicuous the consumption. Conspicuous consumption is based on the luxury brands and luxury consumptions, but then my research is showing that today consumers are not just only luxury, they want to have luxury consumer experiences. So people are moving really towards just from a physical good towards the consumer experience. That's a very powerful thing. We can see a lot of online word of mouth. If you see Facebook page or Twitter or Instagram or any social media, you can see consumers started commenting on their experiences. Either they put an emoji or their reviews and things like that. So these reviews are very important. This is called the online word of mouth. Earlier we used to call it as the word of mouth, but now it's online. So marketers started taking these online reviews, putting into analytics. That's called data analytics. Big data is helping a lot to do that sort of activities. That's something we have seen in the recent time. Consumers become mindful consumers. Mindful consumers are those consumers who are very sustainable. They believe in organic consumptions, and they care for planet, and they are very conscious. And we need to think what really motivates them. How do they really get motivated with all sort of thing? And one other thing which I've seen very recently is the group consumption. So a lot of people started moving from individual consumption to group consumption. Say, for example, Uber is a very interesting concept. And if you really look into the Uber sharing taxis have become very popular all over the world. So people started thinking, why do I need to have one car and I need to commute? Rather, I can share with other people. I can save costs. I can save. I can be a mindful customer in terms of solving some of the planet issues, and so a lot of that sort of group consumption has emerged over a period of time. And there has been a lot of focus on low-income consumption. Low-income consumption means how do you really bring the low-income people to the mainstream of the economy? Say, for example, over a period of time in India, there has been a rising increase in moving towards branded products. Earlier, this used to be in the Kirana stores or small shops and places where you used to go, unbranded products. But over a period of time, every marketeer, every manufacturer started making products which is very viable for the low-income people. So a lot of people, you can see, they started really moving towards branded products and branded consumption, particularly in India, China, and Africa. This is emerging a lot. And before the COVID-19, I've seen a lot of free goods. Free goods are quite ubiquitous today, everywhere. Particularly in the technology platform, we can see Facebook is free, or Twitter accounts are free. Lots of technology products are free. So lots of technology products, lots of other products started coming out and started offering their products and services free for consumers. Out of that, they actually make money. They created a revenue model. So how do they make money? What sort of revenue model they have? All that sort of things you would have seen in the recent time. So this is where we stopped actually just before COVID-19 in the whole evolution of consumer behavior. So let's add two new questions over there. How do we create the well-being of your customers? That is going to be something driving for the future. And how you're going to give a fulfilling life with this monotonous, with this kind of lockdown and less spicing of life. How do we create a fulfilling life in this current scenario? So it is a great responsibility for businesses to really understand and taking this well-being and fulfilling us to important theme for their marketing in the future. So this is a background of the whole marketing and consumer behavior prior to the